Welcome to a warm show called Live Bush Camps Chat with Khaya Tlou. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you all. How are you doing? I'm doing well, but not so well this afternoon because of what happened a few days ago. So we'll be discussing that during the course of the show. But if you're new in the show, show is called Live Bush Camps Chat with Khaya Tlou. What we do is to discuss about what we see on our live camps that are in our perimeter here in Pride Conservancy, southern part of Balule in the Greater Kruger National Park, and on our neighboring reserve called Khaya, and also in Cape Town, penguin camps. So we'll be starting with multi-view, and then we'll see who's live and who's showing us some things on camera, and then Bavu will slowly go there and check what we can see there, but mostly Hyena Den is the one that's most active at this time of the day, so hopefully it's not so hot outside. Maybe the hyenas, the calves, are running out and about. So welcome. I want to see who's here with us this afternoon, and you can see I'm sweating a bit because it's very hot. And day before yesterday it was about 42 degrees Celsius. That's above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have Cookie P, Judith, D, Barbara, Janice, Karen P, Sassy Cassie, number 13, Arla Ramoa, Marcy M24, Shaluzi, Carrie, Rosalind, Becky, Mary Forwild, Catherine, and this goes on and on and on. I welcome you all, and thank you for taking your time to watch my show called Live Bush Camps Chat. At least I've got my soft drink with me. Matt is coming with my cloth, my face cloth. I thought maybe the studio won't be so hot today, but it's saying no. I'm very hot. So today it's above 35 degrees Celsius. But the day started so well. It was cloudy in the morning, it was beautiful, no wind. We thought maybe we might be seeing all the lions, the leopards, because lions last night were roaring left, right, center around HQ Waterhole. But some people saw them this morning because I couldn't go out because Mongoose didn't feel well this morning. Mongoose is one of our cars. We have two game viewers or media cars. We have the Badger and Mongoose. So Mongoose, we use him to bumble around to see whether we will find all the beautiful sightings stuff, and then we'll reserve Badger for our live drives taking place especially on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays mostly. And so I'm hot, as the topic of the day today is very hot. But what we'll do, we'll start with the multi-view and see what we have. Bavu is on FC. Let's see what we have on multi-view. Yes, beautiful. We have Ellie Camp, that's 1 and 2. That's just right next to our camp. And then we have Creeder Camp, that's in the yard in our camp. And then we have the Hyena Den, the Pride Hyena Den. And then we have the one in Cape Town, the Penguin Camp. We have Khaya, Waterhole, and Khaya Dam. Those are in our neighboring reserve. So there's nothing really happening at this stage. So before we show you what happened at the Hyena Den, the commotion that is happening, that has been happening and still happening, we'll be looking at some clips from our live camps. Bavu, hit us with the first camp, brother. Yes, for sure, Rosemary. I'll be keeping myself hydrated with my soft drink. Yes, this is Critter Camp, one of my favorite spot, because you get to see all these. You can see this champion over here walking slowly towards the water hole, going to drink. And see this 31st, that's a few days ago. It was very hot. It is the monitor lizard, and it's slowly quenching his thirst, because what happens is this little guy over here, it spends most of its time on our roof, in the studio. So in this building, he's just always on top. He's just always on top. And at first I thought maybe he couldn't go down, but they told me that he can climb down and climb up. And then they think maybe there are eggs on top there, because it spends all its time and most of its time on top there. And then these monitor lizards are known to lay about 50 eggs, but what they do is they dig a hole. They get to a place where there's softer sand, and then they will dig, lay their eggs there, and then they keep guard on that, because they know honey badgers will be there. Other monitor lizards might come and snack on that. And then they also utilize the termite mounds to lay their eggs. What happens, they just go into termite mound, and then they lay their eggs there, because they know that termites, they regulate their temperature inside their mound, so their eggs are much safer in there, because what stays mostly in a termite mound, it's what doesn't feed on eggs, our aardvark. What do you call this animal with spikes? Why am I forgetting? It's a porcupine. Yeah, because I hardly see them here. That's why they just run away from my brain sometimes. Yes, Judy, definitely. Very huge. It's about 1.8 meters. It's more than 1.5 meters. It's about my height from the tip of its mouth to the tip of its tail. If I can put it vertically, then definitely it will be almost my height. It's very big. Sassy Cat is not our pet, but it feels our pet because it lives with us here, because this studio is combined with the workshop, and that's where he lives, so that simply means our pet. We're taking good care of it. But we are not fending for it, it fends for itself. So we have the second clip. Bavu. Let's get to the second live video. Yes, Critter Care, my favorite. Look at that. We have, look, VM's favorite, a slender mongoose. Just pause it there, Bavu. Just pause it there. Just pause it there, brother. Just go back a bit. I just want you to pause it while the head is down. Yes, just there. You can see those legs. You can see the power that is there. This animal, if it was the size of a leopard, or if it was the size of a civet, or maybe a genet, it would be a machine. You can see how it walks, making sure that it's very safe, because most of the time it walks with its mate, but if it's not mating, it walks on its own. That's a slender mongoose. Some people, they call it a black-tailed mongoose. Some they call it a black-tip-tailed mongoose. But we're calling it VM's mongoose. So Babu, let's get to another clip, brother. Beautiful sighting. Because we don't really see these ones, especially when we are on our game drives with our game drive cars. Because they are so skittish. When they see a car, they just run. Bundu bashing, they hide. They try by all means to hide away from us, and you can see them slowly trying to hide. Looking at us. Then when you stop, they dash. Let's go to your next clip, brother. Yes, Karen, I'm not sure whether it's a she or a he. Yes, this is our neighboring reserve, which is called Khaya waterhole. So it's always full. And see, there's a tiger boy here. So these tiger boys, you always see them around here, because what happens is when they grow older, they lose all the energy to follow up with the rest of the herd. So what happens is they can't keep up with the herd, and then that's why they have to stick around in these areas where there's a bit of grass and a bit of water around, because buffaloes rely on water. They have to drink water every day because they have so much vegetation to feed every day. So these are called the tiger boys. You can see their skin is covered in mud because they have to wallow, because they lose their hair while they grow older. The tiger boys, you don't want to meet that on foot without a qualified guide, because you might be sent to hospital, because you can see their boss, their horns are so huge, and then they are so grumpy. Come, I tell you, the tiger boys are very, very grumpy, because they are part of the big five. These are animals that are so dangerous to hunt. Professional hunters know that these tiger boys, they might pretend as if they're running away from you, hence they are making a loop coming for you again. So that what is happening on leopards, elephants, so dangerous to hunt. That's why they are part of the big five. Rosalind, we have a lot and lots of buffaloes. We are lucky because we have these two different groups around here. Most of the time it sticks around in Pride Lands, and some group sticks around in Kwenga. They go north, Jejani, they come back, they go deeper south in Boston, and then we don't struggle much with buffalo sighting because they're just scattered almost everywhere. And then we have these boys that we usually see almost every drive when you go out on weekends, because they stick around our water holes here. Beautiful. And yes, Alaramo, definitely, you know that picture when you take while the animal is drinking and the reflection from the water, take that at the same time, beautiful photo, and we can make it a canvas and sell it. Bafu, what's our next video, brother? Yes, Shalus, definitely they are such good animals, but do not mess with them. Oh, look what who we've got here. Thank you, Matt. Matt has just brought me some water. Thanks, brother. Yes, we have something beautiful here. This is our famous boy in Pride Lands. Famous boy, because you can see this is a male giraffe. You can't miss that without seeing its belly bottom, because you can see the size difference, the size of the ossicons, and ossicons are those horn-like structures. You can see the coloration. This is the only darkest giraffe we have in Pride Lands. So you can see it has the stripy horses. I call them the stripy horses, the zebras. So you can see that the male, it's always around the females, because I think it's the coloration of that male giraffe attracts more females, because you know the darker the skin, the more attractive, because you know female lions sometimes they're attracted to a darker maned lion, male lion, because they think that maybe it has stronger genes compared to these lighter boys. So they can see the size. Sassy Casey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. 25 USD. Really appreciate that. And so you can see those zebras that they drink. And if you are so wary about things, you'll see that the zebras, what they do is they hang around with other animals mostly, especially the giraffes. So what they do is that they know that while they're looking at the bottom, the giraffes would be looking on top, the aerial view. Definitely the giraffes will let those ones who can't see that further about what is happening around them. If there's danger, definitely it will let them know, and then they will dash off. And then if the zebras, they see what is happening around and the giraffe is not aware of that, they will definitely do the same. And what's so great about that is that both of them, they feed on different things. Giraffes they nibble a bit on top. Fresh leaves, fresh new shoots. And then the zebras, what they do is they go for grasses. So there's no competition. They rely on each other. That's mutual relationship happening there. Bavu, let's get to the next video. Whoa! What is this show, Khaya's show, without an elephant? Definitely we have our boys here trying to keep up with the heat. This happened on the 30th of October, 3 days ago. Look at that. You can see these are the boys. I call them the naughty boys, because sometimes when they don't feel like being next to our game viewers, they just push us away a bit. Just want to enjoy their time on their own. So what they're doing now is just mud bathing. So making sure that the mixture of mud and water goes straight into their skin, so that it keeps their body temperature a bit good. Because you can see these huge animals, they can struggle when it's very, very, very hot. That's why they have to come to these water holes. And we are lucky to have such cameras, and we are lucky to have such a water hole around HQ, because I can see this happening just sitting at the veranda. Beautiful. And I do that sometimes with Mahloa and Juno. Those are our 2 dogs in the camp. Beautiful doggies. Thank you, Lady H. And so these boys, what happens is they move around a lot, because what they do is they come to this waterhole HQ and then they go straight west to Leopard Dam and do almost the same, pushing down trees. And they've been smashing trees around here. It's not bad. Some people seeing that as a bad move, but it's not bad. That's natural. That's in their nature. It helps other species to survive. Because without these animals, elephants in the reserve, I can say it's a dead reserve, because those trees need to be taken down, because leopards, lions, impalas, they really need to give birth, and then they utilize those fallen trees as their shelter to protect their youngsters when they are born, because they are so vulnerable. So without these ellies, I'm sure those babies or those calves, those lambs will be totally exposed, and then the predators will just easily snack on them. Yes, Julie, definitely, they feel so good when doing this. And I will be doing this on a live drive. If it's very hot, what I will do is I will take off my shirt, but not my shorts. Then I'll take off my shoes, take off my mic, then just wallow in there. I once did that when I was still a boy, but I didn't know about it until I started studying animal behavior. Because actually doing that, it cools you off, and you go for quite a long time without being thirsty, because you can spend about a few hours without drinking water. Done that, and I'm still gonna do it. Yes, Cookie, definitely. What happens is they sometimes don't really need to swim to go in water, because the trunk is doing the job. I'm drinking both. So my team speaker started again. Sorry about that. Bavu is talking to me from FC, but because my team speak is giving me some problem. Team speak doesn't have a problem, as I always say. Yes, Babu, thank you. Babu got me back. Maybe he was saying something at me. So yeah, I can hear you, Babu. Yes, 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 definitely. When you see animals going to water holes and drink, and when you see birds opening their mouth and their feathers, just like a chicken, when it's very hot, you will see a chicken panting. They do that. So what they do is they gather in water holes, and you must know that it's a very, very hot day. They do go to water holes to have a drink, but they just do that mostly when it's very, very, very hot, because you sweat much, they pant much, so they have to stay hydrated. So these boys, they love doing that. Bavu, what's the next video, brother? Okay, we have a beautiful video coming. I strongly believe you're ready. Welcome, Dance in the Rain. So we have these boys. You can see these boys. I chose this clip because most of the time impalas are animals that when people are visiting the reserves or the lodges, they tend to just pass them. And when I do that while I'm with Matt, he definitely gets so upset, because these are Matt's favorite. Matt is our camera operator here. So he always says, Khaya, impalas. Then I stop, discuss a bit about them. So you can see these are boys. And the younger boys, the older boys. So what happens is, during this time of the year, it's November, it's October, they stray away from females because their testosterone levels are very low, and then they stick around together as a bachelor herd, those youngsters teaching each other from what they learn from the adults. And we can see huge amount of impalas. That simply means there's a huge activity of cats here, because lions, leopards, they snack on this one. And something happened here. Something really happened here on this day. It was 9:10 in the morning, the 30th of October. Let's have a different view, Bavu. Yes, that's a different view. And something really, really happened. Just listen to that. Look at that. You'll see what's... Whoa! Did you dazzle a bit there? I did. So, do you see what happened here? What happened there? So, you saw the camera shaking. Something interesting was happening there. And we saw that happening because Bavu shouted. Bavu saw it first, then he shouted. Then we ran there and we saw what happened and what was happening. So, those impalas were running away from an animal and a cat that stays around HQ Waterhole. And you know who's that. Bavu, do you have that clip, brother? Yes. Look carefully what's happening on the screen. Just look carefully what's happening on the screen. You see what's happening there? Look at that. Look what's happening. There's a commotion happening there. Impalas are running up and down, left, right, center. Others are trying to jump, and there's this beautiful golden cat busy trying to confuse them. Did you see what happened there? Thank you, Judith. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look what's happening. Just take a look. Yes, number 13, that's Legato. Look what's happening. Just check the road. Just check the road, what's happening. Check who's gonna pass by the road there. Slowly moving from HQ, that's the western part of HQ, to the eastern part of HQ Waterhole. Look at that. Do you see that? That's Legato. That is Legato. So we have That cat is such a special cat. I've never seen a cat like that. I've seen lions hunting. I've seen lions taking down prey species. I've seen everything about lions. Most of the things, if I can say that. But this animal, because it left its natal pride when it was very, very young, because her mom was killed by the rival nomadic males that they were taking over the pride, and then because she saw a need to leave the next day, she moved away from the natal pride, and then she just spent time on her own. When she was very young, and she's still young, she's still growing, and then she's sticking around HQ Waterhole mostly. She goes to the west and east and come back, but most of the time she stays around here, and then she utilized the fence to corner her prey species. Just imagine. So Cookie, what shook the camera is that it's when Legato pounced. So what happened is she was stalking, and those impalas were slowly drinking, and then immediately when they saw her, they moved, and then it was a commotion because they didn't know where to run. Some they just wanted to jump the fence, some they just wanted to grab the fence, and the camera was shaking all the time. That's why you saw something like an earthquake. It wasn't an earthquake, it was Legato strangling something, an impala, and we saw her dragging it away from the camera screen because it has to be safe from other lions or other predators like hyenas, because she's such a beautiful cat. Let's wait for a clip that will show you the best view of Legato, because this clip is so beautiful, because we hardly see this lion. Shy sometimes relaxed, and sometimes skittish. Thank you, Mary for Wild. Thank you so much for your donation, Mary for Wild. Look at that. That's Legato. Yes, and you can hear the alarm calls left, right, center from baboons, birds, squirrels. Look how beautiful that cat is. Just look at the beauty of that cat. And definitely you'll fall in love with this cat immediately you spend time with her. After what happened here, myself and Anton, the owner, Simone and Bavu, we drove out. We wanted to go in and check what happened. And then we struggled to find this lion, because it was just in the bushes, and then we drove in, finally we got it, but we didn't spend much time there because she was in a very difficult place. We didn't even take videos or photos because we couldn't get them, and she was blending in so well there. And then what's so interesting is that she was heavily panting because it was very, very hot. And Bavu told me something, that since he's been with the Painteddog team, this lioness chooses the hottest days to hunt. And I think that's very smart, because she knows that loads of impalas of prey species gather at the waterholes, and then that's when she gets opportunity, because she knows that she has to use all the weak points of her prey species. Definitely, she's such a beautiful cat. So, and what happened? She didn't eat the carcass straight away because she was panting heavily. But that's a strategy. Bavu, do you have another clip, brother? Look at the beauty. It's interesting seeing such sporty cats, or sometimes I call them rosetted cats, because some people, they say leopards don't have spots, they have rosettes. So I call them sporty cats, and sometimes I call them rosetted cats. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sighting. You can see this is the big boy, because I had a look sensitive look at these animals. So I thought I saw some scrotum, golden scrotum at the back sticking out, even if you can't see the color, but it's black and white now. And it's so interesting that these cats are around here, and then myself starting to be around Pride Lands territory, I really understood that leopards, you'll only see them when they want to be seen. Because our leopards here, they're not skittish, all of them. But some of them are skittish, and some of them, they're just shy. They just, when they hear the car, they just move away from us. Or sometimes when we are lucky, they're just giving us that beautiful, beautiful sighting. So it goes to effect that leopards are so shy and they are so secretive. So I can see that boy. So what's so interesting is that that boy roams around HQ almost every 2-3 days, because it's a leopard that I hear every week calling. Oh, 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 oh. Not far from my house here. And I remember this one time when I was camping, when I was in my tent, just next to a pool, and then it was sowing, kept on sowing. So I think that's an exact leopard that was sowing. I also love them. Beautiful, beautiful. If you can see them live, there's leopards. If you're sitting with them at a sighting, lying down there, you will think they're like something like a toy, or they're not real, because they're just different from other animals like hyenas, lions. They're just different, and you can see the golden color, especially when the sun shines to them. It's just so pretty. Bavu, what do you have, brother? Let's go to your next video, brother. Oh, it's Tlou. I called it a Tlou. And why I came up with that name, it's because of Afrikaans. Because I like calling them slang, because a snake in Afrikaans is a slang. So I call them a Tlou. So this reminds me of did I tell you about my pet? I have a pet, a snake. Just outside our house, myself and Matt in Tlou, we have a small, little, beautiful Mozambique speeding cobra. It stays just right next to us. I saw it 2, 3, 4 times now since this warm weather started to be vicious in the Lowveld. Yes, Z. Stunning snake. So this snake, I can't really tell what is this snake, but looking at the size and the length, at first I said maybe it might be a python, but I said maybe it's not a fully grown python, but pythons supposed to be very thick at this length. And then what came into my mind was maybe it's a black mamba, because snakes they don't have problem of swimming. They just do swim. Z, want me to tell you about the pythons in Pride Lands? So before I continue with that, what I'll do, you can see those, even that game viewer doesn't really see that snake, because from that distance you might think that snake is just a log. It's just a log. So pythons, I haven't seen a python in Pride Lands, but there's this one skin, a python skin. It's very huge. I think maybe next time I'll bring you that skin. What happened was, they said they found the skin in the roof, because snakes, they are known to shed their skin, especially when they're growing from a juvenile, being a sub-adult, and then being an adult. Sassy Casey, you can't see a snake. Sassy Casey, before you continue, let me show you the big swim bubble. Just go back a bit. Can you see this? Sassy Casey, I'm sure you can see that. You can see that. That's not a lock. If you can see that it's moving, it's a snake, Sassy Casey. The Tlou. And I think it's a black mamba because of the size. It can go up to 2, 3 meters, 4 meters sometimes. So, since I've been here, I haven't seen a python, but I've seen their tracks. I've seen where they've moved, where they've been to. So what happens is this heat in the low veld definitely will bring all the snakes out. The snake that I've seen since I've been here, it's my snake and Matt's snake, just outside our doorstep. There's a snake there, small snake, Mozambique spinning cobra, beautiful. It's safe, and we are safe. Then a was very, very big and large. It's the largest and longest snake where we are right now. And then it's not venomous. It has like complete full sets of teeth, lower jaw and upper jaw, because it doesn't use venom to kill their prey. They use their strength to kill their prey. So that's why they're so strong, because they roll up, they coil up their prey, and then if it inhales, it squeezes. Once you inhale, it squeezes until it suffocates you, then you're dead. And then the skin that I saw, it's in the kitchen. They found it in the roof while they were cleaning, and they were installing some electricity when they arrived here, and then they saw this huge skin, and then it was a python skin, and it just shed its skin. So it simply means before they came in, there was a huge snake living around here. It might still be here, or the youngsters being around. Bavu, let's go to the video clip. Ready? Whoa! Look what we have. The Ngati pride. This is a beautiful, biggest that I've seen in my career. Biggest part I've seen in my career, with 8 females, adults, with about 15 cubs. So, but this pride has split, and then the 2 females have left with 5 cubs, and then this one that you're seeing right here, it's 6 females, adult females with 10 cubs. So there was a cub that was killed, that was seen on the Hyena den camp. So we don't know whether it's from these 6 females or from those 2 females that they've split, because what happens, they can't really keep up with feeding these youngsters or these cubs. They were supposed to split because they fight during carcasses or at the kill, and that really compromises these youngsters because they can't really feed. And if the females can't really feed, the youngsters can't really get the proper milk they need. And then the other thing is that these cubbies, they're starting not to rely more on milk, they're starting to rely on meat and blood. So what happens is, if they don't do a lot of kills each and every week or few days, then these youngsters struggle so much. Because I've seen the youngest ones, they're not doing so well because they also have mange, and you can see that these 2 big boys who are males, who are dominant, they're really taking over during feeding, and I don't really like that, but you know, that's nature. It's happening. That this is HQ. Yes, Heidi, it's very beautiful to see this pride. It was roaring. It was roaring. And what happened there after that? Those females gave us a roar. We were in the house, then we quickly dashed out, and then we followed them. We saw them. And what's so interesting is that they stole a carcass from Legato, because that's not far from Legato. So they smelled that, they stole it. I think Legato was pushed, and then we saw this youngster feeding on a carcass. So he's feeding on a bone, last bits. So you can see that youngster was sitting just on top of that carcass. And what's so interesting is that the pride moved north, and then only one female with 3 cubs left, stayed behind. Sorry about that, stayed behind. And then the rest left, and then this one cub was concentrating on this bone that it was feeding on. And after that, it realized that my mom is gone, and it started running all over, calling, whoa, whoa. Then it came back to the same female, but the female was clapping her to be away from the youngsters because they were nibbling on few bits of meat. So that tells you that when the sisters are not here, you're making sure that your youngsters are feeding. Bavu, that was the last video, I guess. I strongly believe that we'll be going to the multi-view first and see what's happening on our live cameras, and then if we have something, we dash straight there, and then if there's nothing happening, we'll be going to a very, very, very sad video. Yes, Bob, we'll go to the hyena den. Let's go to the hyena den and see what's happening there. Maybe we might be seeing some commotion. Yes, you can see on the right corner of the den, this is a den site. Just on the western southern part of Pride Lands, you find this beautiful pride over here. But you can see things has cooled off a bit because there was commotion. And it didn't start 2, 3, 4 days ago. It started a long time ago. Since I've been here, there was something that was making these hyenas skittish, but I didn't really care much about that until what I saw a few days ago. Ruda Fort Clan, definitely it's not so easy to be talking about Sparky. Sparky, it's what we're going to see in few seconds or minute up to a minute. So what we'll do is Bob will be playing a clip that I did after the commotion. Sparky was lying there, still dead. And if you are very sensitive, please do not watch this, or just turn away your eyes from your screen, or just pause a bit or switch off your screen. And please, from here until the end of the show, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be hyena being attacked, hyena dying, hyena being eaten. It's going to be bad. Please, if you are a sensitive viewer, please turn away from the screen. Bavu, let's play that, brother. Hello, my name is Khaya, my surname is Tlou. We're in Pride Lands Conservancy, just right next to Pride Lands Hyena clan den. So what happened here is that this young chap here, she was killed by these two adult hyenas. The commotion started around 2 a.m. in the morning until this morning around 7 to 8. Those two adult females are low ranking and are believed to be half-tail and smile in. Robin was in here, who's the dominant hyena of this clan. Robin was this hyena who took care of this chap who's lying over here, but she was not her blood mom. So what happened? The mother of this beautiful hyena lying dead here was killed in a commotion between hyenas and lions. So her mom, met her mom by name, was seen limping after that, and then she was never seen again. So she was presumed dead due to that. So Robin took care of this youngster until this morning. So we don't know what's going to happen when Robin sees this young chap dead. You can see part of the belly is ripped off, both sides, face covered in blood, front legs torn apart. And this one little hyena was just about a year old. I don't really know what's going to happen when the other hyenas come back to the den, and I don't really know what Robin will do about this. But stay tuned for the next section of what we are looking at right now. Painteddog TV on YouTube, and do not forget to watch live cameras of Pride Lands clan of hyenas. Yeah, unfortunately, something like this has to happen. It's so difficult to digest this or to make this go away and just forget about it just like that. Because Sparky, I've been known her for a long time, but been people, like viewers, people following Painted Dogs, have been following Sparky since she was a youngster. And I've seen all those clips, all those photos of Sparky after what happened actually, because I didn't dig deeper about Sparky when she was born and until yesterday. I'm so in love with hyenas, I just love them, but something like this, I know it's not the first time happening, it's not the last time happening, it's still going to happen, because, you know, female hyenas can crave calf's blood, even in their own natal clans, because what happens is that behavior is normally called infanticide, because what happens is those females will be killing calves, not only their calves, but they can kill calves from high or low ranking females just to maintain their social standing. So what happened there was the commotion started about 2. I didn't see it happening, but I saw it in the morning. Then I went through the video, and it started not on that day, because I remember when we did Halloween drive, I was at the den and Brenty was on the other side. I shot Tay, one of the low-ranking females, was feeding her calves on the western part of the den, because that's where she likes hang around than other females, because the other females are just on the other side of the den. You can see it from the camera. So what happened, the other female named Robin, who's the matriarch, is believed to be the matriarch, and Smile Ann were around, but I didn't see them. I saw them at first, and then they dashed off the den. And then I saw Half-Tail. She was lying down, relaxed. And then 4 cubs went to Half-Tail while she was suckling, while she was feeding her cubs. And then those cubs, they were so close to comfort. So what happened, Short-Tail smashed those cubs. So she gave them nasty bites. Then they dashed off, they made some noise, and then Smile Ann and Robin came through running to investigate what was happening. And then Short-Tail gave them a few bites also. So I was so confused, because how Short-Tail did that to a dominant female hyena, because I was expecting that Short-Tail was supposed to be submissive when Robin was there, or when Smile Ann was there. And the commotion started that day, I think, or maybe before that. And then yesterday, in the morning, early morning of yesterday, and then there was a commotion there. We saw Smile Ann and Short-Tail teaming up. The tails were up, running around the den side. There were noise of another hyena, only to find out that hyena was Sparky. And Sparky, I think, was going to be a dominant female, because she was under the wing of Robin. Because what happened, Sparky's mom died a few months ago between the commotion of lions and hyenas. And then after a few days of that commotion, she was seen limping, and then she was never seen again. So she was presumed dead. So Robin took care of Sparky. She was giving her carcasses, giving her all she really needs so that she can survive. So what happened after this incident, I haven't seen Robin, but I saw Robin's cubs. So that told me that these 2 hyenas, they want to rule now. Because I always thought that female hyenas, they get to be dominant or being matriarchs because they were born from a female that's dominant. But that told me that female hyenas, even if they are less dominant, they can fight their way to the top to rule the clan. Because these 2 females are ranking low from Robin. So I think that's why they teamed up, because they knew the strength of Robin. And then they team up, and then unfortunately Sparky was caught in between. I think, in my perspective, I think that they sensed that instinctively that Sparky was going to take Robin's crown. So that's why Sparky was killed. And then maybe they're waiting for Robin to tell her that we are taking over, and then maybe they might be smashing Robin also. But we don't know what's going to happen. They might stay submissive when Robin approaches, or they might fight. But the way I'm looking at things is that those hyenas, I was there yesterday after the incident, and I was there a little bit late. They were there, and you can see they're a little bit skittish. They're a little bit, ready for a war. Unfortunately, Sparky was caught in between, and I think those young cubs, because Robin has young cubs, like very young. She has the youngest cubs in the clan, but they were not brutalized by these 2 females. So what came into my mind was maybe those Robin cubs are males, because males, they rank low to every female in a clan. So I think that's why they don't have any problem with that, those cubs being outside or just right next to them. or maybe they haven't seen any competition yet. If maybe there's one robin's cub that is a female. That's what came into my mind. So I don't really know what's going to happen when robin comes in. It might happen that robin, before they killed Sparky, robin was beaten, or maybe was smacked away from the camera eye, or maybe far from the ears of the camera. We don't know, because I haven't seen robin since this incident happened, and I'm so worried that those youngsters might not get a chance to suckle, because they're so young. They need to suckle almost every day. Oh. Bravo. So we'll be playing the last two clips of what happened after we saw Sparky lying dead still. And they're also very sensitive. And then we'll discuss a bit about that. Bravo, let's play the videos, brother. So you can see this hyena over here. I've tried to ID it, but only to find that it's an unknown hyena. So I thought maybe at first I thought it was robin, but I noticed that the size and the spot pattern, that was not robin. It's one of the unknown hyenas. So there was a whooping there, and people who watched the camera here, they thought maybe it was robin coming to check what is happening, because I think she can sense that those two are not around here. So you can see the carcass is just lying on the right hand side of the den, and those youngsters were feeding on that carcass, and that's what hyenas do. Even if one hyena happens that is being killed by a lion, they eat it. So this is what is happening here, making sure that this carcass is pulled away from the den side and is being consumed, because the smell of this rotting carcass will definitely attract other predators like lions. They can come here, and then that will compromise the safety of these cubs and other members of this clan. So that was brutal. So Sparky, I used to call her a little champion, because you could see when she's with Mellow, you could see that these young hyenas growing up, they're less than 2 years old, they would be approaching 2 years. And then you could see that they have such beautiful future together, and you could see that these two, they're going to have these formidable hunters that will spend most of their time together. But I don't really know what Mellow is feeding it at this stage. And obviously I'm not feeling well, I'm not good. I'm trying to be good. Because obviously I visit the den almost every day. And when I visit the den site, I always see Sparky most of the time. But now I have to switch my mind and my brain, telling it that Sparky is no longer there. And sorry, I was talking with Matt earlier on, then he said, why can't we play like a tribute? a tribute to Sparky, like the videos, the clips, the memorial video of Sparky. And then I said, no, I don't think I'm still fit to see it on screen. So what happened was, I will definitely collect all the photos of Sparky from when she was still a cub until today, and all the video clips if they are there, and then just send it through on my Facebook page, or maybe on our app. We'll definitely share that. But I didn't have that power to watch that memorial clip. So this is what hyenas do. This shows that being a hyena or being an animal in the wild, it's not so easy. And it tells me that not all the dominant females, the matriarchs, are born from the dominant female. The hyena war within a clan still continues, but at the same time, it's breaking our hearts. So what is happening now? I'm gonna close the show, and thank you for watching, and thank you for taking your time to watch Live Bush Camps Chat with Khaya. Said show started so nicely, but I knew that the last bit of the show would definitely tear my heart apart. It wasn't easy seeing Sparky because her front right paw was totally, completely out. The ears was like torn apart, face, her belly, and actually where she was lying, she was just lying on top of her intestines, because I think she was trying to run away from that, but the intestines just came off, and then she just fell on top of them. It's very brutal. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Bavon FC, and I hope you are all well. I know I'm not well, but it will still take some time for myself to be very, very well. But I'll try my level best, because I love hyenas. I will still follow them. I will still see what's happening. I'm still going to dig deeper. I know I won't know or understand everything about hyenas, because it will always show me something different or different behavior all the time. Thank you for watching, and I will definitely see you soon. I don't know whether I'll be up for next week for this show, but tomorrow it's free to air. Tomorrow afternoon, Bavu, right? 4:30 Central African time, I'll be live. Please tune in and discuss more about this. Definitely on a show free to air, I will pass by the Hyena den and see what happens. Maybe we might be seeing the last beats of Sparky's carcass, or we might see more commotion between Robin, Smile and Short Tail. Maybe Robin will show up. Who knows? Thank you for watching. I thank you. Gintanda Noke Makaya, and stay blessed and keep well.